fell on her back and hit her head, and her grandmother was yelling her name in desperation and sadness, but she couldn't get to her in time. So happy holidays, transformation. In today's video, we're going to do another reaction video to one of my childhood favorite movies, Anastasia. I'm so excited because I want to get this right, and I want y'all to be very excited and very, welcome at home. So we're going to do a quick review for the movie, and we're going to get into it. So let's transform and have fun. And you guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And get this video up to 100 views if you want to see more movie reviews. And let's go. Okay, guys. So as you see in the film or in the picture, you see the music box, and it have a symbolic meaning. So we wonder what this symbolic meaning in this opening means. So Anastasia, her grandmother, who is the narrator who is speaking in the film, it takes place in 1916. Her son Nicholas is the Empire of Russia, and they showing glimpses of her granddaughter Anastasia. And her grandmother gave her a jewelry box, as you guys saw in the beginning of the film, and it is a jewelry. I'm sorry, I can't even talk. A jewelry box that says "Together in Paris." That her grandmother and Anastasia sing. So she bought her the music box to stay closer to her in the heart. So if she can't be around her, she can always play the music box to think of her. Now, Rasputin. He is like an evil entity. He's very jealous. He's walking among the family, disrupting the celebration. And he's threatened Nicholas and the family that he put a curse on them. And he have this power. So of the Romanov. And things start to happen. The Nicholas of statue was pulled down and broken. Um, Anastasia and her grandmother trying to leave and get out. And however, Anastasia forgot about the music box, so she went back in to retrieve it. Dmitri saves her. And I wonder too, was that the Holocaust back then? I know like with Anne Frank as well was going on. So during that time. But he saved her, and they was asking where they were, and they hit him with the gun, so he have a little limp in his arm. And Anastasia in the next plot, Anastasia and her grandmother is racing to get on the train. Her grandmother aborted the train. However, Anastasia did not, so she's running, trying to um, hold on to her grandmother's hand. However, she was slipping out of her grandmother's hand, and she fell on her back and hit her head. And her grandmother was yelling her name in desperation and sadness, but she couldn't get to her in time. So very sad, and they got separated. And yeah, but they never said what happened to Nicholas, which was her father. They didn't go in more detail. They just like they skipped over that. But I guess we could imagine because they pulled the statue down. But fast forward to 10 years later, Dmitri and his friend Vlad going to St. Petersburg to find Anastasia, or to find someone that looks like Anastasia. At that time, Anya is being kicked out of the orphanage, supposed to work at this fish factory. But Anastasia refused to go that direction. She feel like she have a different path. She have a different meaning of life. Anastasia asks for a sign, and she wants to follow her own faith and find answers, which I love about this movie. And she meets up with a little cute puppy, leading her to St. Petersburg. Sorry. And Dmitri and his friend Vlad are having an audition to find Anastasia, which is a big disaster. I laughed so hard. I didn't know what she said in there. All this time I've been watching this film, she said, "Grandma, it's me, Anastasia." And I died laughing. I'm like, what in the world? But I really enjoyed it. Anastasia and her beloved dog, Puka, find an abandoned building, which is like leads like memories, jogging her memories, which start to come back. She doesn't know this was her old home. Dancing with her father. However, it was interrupted when Dimitri saw her and he was yelling at her. And he said, "What you're doing here?" And she took off running. He told her stop. And he catches up with her and sees the resemblance. There's a painting of her when she was a little girl and her. So he was really amazed. He's like, wow, she looked just like the Duchess Anastasia. And he was trying to convince his friend Vlad, and he's like, okay, she do look like her. um, and then they go to Paris. So, however, Rasputin's spirit comes back to life because of the Romanov, which is Anastasia. Her last name is Romanov. So they all supposed to be deceased, but she is the last one standing. Now, Rasputin is ready for revenge while Dmitri and Anya and Vlad are on the train to St. Petersburg. And Anya and Dmitri, they bicker through the whole train ride. They can't get along. Dmitri and Vlad was trying to move to the dining car. However, it split apart from the train, and they found out no one was driving the train. So they made a decision to jump off the train before they get into a bad accident. Dimitri and Vlad are training and teaching Anya about royalty, what to say, what to do, the proper way to walk and greet. And then they finally board a ship. And Dimitri offered Anya a dress, which she pokes fun of, talking about the circus. And Dimitri says she's clueless, like, come on, put on a dress. And she came up, and Dimitri and Vlad were very shocked about her appearance. And Dimitri and Anya danced, and they started to have chemistry. And later on that day, which turned to nighttime, the dog finds a music box out of Dimitri's bag. And Rasputin sees her and enters her dreams and she started to have real bad nightmares. It was a good dream in the beginning, then it became a whole nightmare. Sleepwalking, and she made her way to the top of the ship, meaning that she was going to jump off that big ship and drown. But the Rasputin was trying to lure her in, pull her, and she was screaming, trying to get away from him. At the same time, Dmitri reached her, trying to save her, and she finally woke up out of her dream, and she said she sees faces and the Romanov curse, and he told her it was going to be okay, and he hugged her. As Dmitri, Vlad, and Anya go meet Sophia, who knows Anastasia's grandmother, it was a question that she asked her, and Dmitri thought she wasn't going to get it right. But he realized that Anya is Anastasia. Anastasia explained that there was a boy who was working in the palace, and he opened a wall when he started to really like her. And he's the only one that remembered that because he did save her life. And that was the beginning of the film. Dmitri tells Vlad that Anastasia is real. Anya is real. She is the Duchess. Demetrius is sad because he has feelings for her and knowing that he won't be able to be with her because of her royalty. And Anya finally arrives at the opera. She's standing on top of that staircase wearing that nice blue dress, sparkling, and everyone's looking at her in amazement, whispering. And he went up and escorted her to the seats. And at the end, Sophia wanted to get Maria, which is Anastasia's grandmother, attention about seeing Anya, and she refused. And Miss Marie had a lot to say to Mr. Dimitri and said that we know that what you do, you scam a lot of, you a scam artist. You get girls to look like her and this and that. So she was just so baffled. She didn't want to talk to him. Anastasia heard the whole thing and she said, "You lied to me." And he tried to hold on, talk to her. She said no. And next thing you know, she slapped him. So Dimitri waited upon Anastasia grandmother and he stole the vehicle, steal the vehicle. And she said, "Stop." She said, "I know it was you." He said, "Can you please just listen to me? That is your granddaughter, the Duchess Anastasia." She said, "You won't stop at nothing." And he gave her the music box. He said, "Yeah." And the grandmother remembered. So he wanted to prove himself that he is the boy behind the wall. Grandmother went up to Anya's place, but Anya thought it was Dimitri. She told him to go away. And the grandma said, "No, I'm not him." But she said, "I'm old. I don't feel like being bothered. I don't want nobody wasting my time." And she's remember us from it, the way she smelled. And that's how they start to relate to one another, remembering everything. And it really was her. The music box, and she remembered the song. And the rest was history. And as you guys see that Anya, she's all dressed up in royalty, and Dimitri's on his way back home. And he know that he can't be with her because he really have feelings for her. But, she thought he was greedy for the money of returning. So the grandmother wanted to give him the money. He told the grandmother no. He said, "I wanted to do this from the bottom of my heart." And the grandmother realized that he was the boy who saved them from the beginning. And she realized that he really cared and loved Anya very much. So Anya and Dimitri passed by and had some words. And he said, "Your Highness." And he left. And she felt sad. But to the ball, her big ball, and she didn't know she can be royalty because she was thinking about Dimitri because Dimitri's on his way back on a train. And however, it was the garden. Puka ran into like this big garden and it became really dark. And she met Rasputin. And he was trying to destroy her. And however, Dimitri came and saved her life. So, and Anya defeated. She kicked some butt. She wasn't being fearful anymore. She was fighting her fear, smashing the little spirit thing he had. You guys know what he had. But yeah, and it ended. And she gave back the crown to her grandmother, and it was going back home, her Dimitri. And it ended with a sweet kiss. And I guess they eloped. So they had a happy ending, and it was great. So, and yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It was my childhood. This movie was definitely my childhood memory. I was 4 years old when this movie came out, and I remember my mom purchasing this film. So I do remember it very carefully. I still have the movie. Yes, it's VHS because during that time, that's all we had. So I'm not ashamed. So I do still have it. I can show you guys. This is it, guys. I am not ashamed. I have a lot of VHSs, but this is my personal favorite movie, and I will never forget it. This is one of a kind, one of my favorites for the holidays to watch. And um and it is also free to watch on YouTube. So you guys go catch it up if you haven't. And the soundtrack is also amazing with Aaliyah, um, Journey to the Past, and at the beginning, I forgot the group name. I'm sorry, I forgot the group name, but the album is fire. Um, I think it's Richard Marks and Donna Lewis. Those songs was really good. But you guys, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys want to see more videos of me doing reaction and explaining the plot of the story, the details, the themes, please get the video up to 100 views. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Until next time, ciao.